Hi students, today we are going to discuss about some synapses in gravitation. Okay, depending on nature, the basic forces are classified into four types. One is gravitational force, second one is electromagnetic force, third one strong nuclear force, and last one is weak nuclear force. So how many type of basic forces are there? Four types. What are they? Gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, and weak nuclear force. The gravitational force. First you have to discuss this one. The gravitational force exists in between two massive objects, which is pure attractive force only. Okay. Basically it is a very weak force, but they are very long range forces. You know, the earth revolves around the sun due to the gravitational force. It is a very long range force. Okay. Next, this force communicated by means of particles known as gravitons. Okay. The gravitational force is communicated to the gravitons. What about electromagnetic force? This force exists in between charges of atoms and molecules. This is either repulsive or attractive. This is a long range force and a strong force when compared to gravitational force. This is communicated through photons. What are they? Photons. Next, strong nuclear force. It is the most strongest force in the nature. Okay, but it is a very short range force. It exists in between nucleons in the nucleus only. Okay, this force exists in between leptons or protons in nucleus. Next, last one is weak nuclear force. This force exists in between leptons and protons in the nucleus. It is always repulsive force. Okay. Next, we see Newton's universal law of gravitation. What it says? The force of attraction of gravitation between two masses is directly proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So F proportional to m1 m2 by r square. And you write F is equal to some constant, that is capital G here, to m1 m2 by r square. Here capital G is known as universal gravitational constant, which value is constant in the space everywhere. Capital G is equal to 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Next, what is the relation between small g and capital G? Now we discuss the relation between small g and capital G. Suppose a body of mass small m is placed on the surface of the planet or earth of mass capital M and radius is capital R. Now the weight of the body or gravitational pull on the mass of the body F is equal to mg. By the universal law of gravitation, write the force value between two masses as capital G m1 into m2 means capital M small m by distance between them capital R square. Equating these two and we get a relation small g is equal to capital G capital M by R square. Just keep in your mind, here R is the distance between two masses. Okay, this is the relation between small g and capital G. when the body is on the surface of the planet or Earth. Okay, now this g value, small g value, generally on Earth surface is 9.8 meter per second square. But it changes in different situations. We see them. First one, discuss variation of g. Variation of small g due to altitude. First case is altitude. Altitude means height. What happens when the object is taken to a certain height? Its g value increases or decreases. Now we see. When the object is or body is on the surface of the Earth, the g value is capital G, capital M by R, capital R square. Here capital R means distance of the body from the center of the Earth. Okay, when this body is taken to a certain height of h from the Earth surface, then the acceleration due to gravity on this height gh is equal capital G, capital M by. Now what is the distance of the body from the center of the Earth? Capital R plus h. So that's why you write this one. So gh is equal G capital M by R plus h whole square. Now we do gh by g is equal, we get R by R plus h whole square. Okay. Suppose if height of the body is very less than compared to radius of the Earth, h is very less than capital R, then we get gh is equal g of 1 minus 2h by r. That means g value decreases when the body is taken to a certain height. Okay, and also written gh minus g, g minus gh, g minus gh is equal to 2h by r into small g. This is nothing but change in g value. What is the fraction form of the g value? Fractional change of g value, delta g by g is equal to 2h by r. Okay, right. Okay. Now, second case, variation of small g due to the depth d. When the body of mass small m is placed on the surface of the Earth, we write small g is equal capital G, capital M by capital R square. Here capital G by R square into mass of the Earth can be written as volume into density. Volume of the sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube into density is. Consider Earth is to be a homogeneous sphere. Okay. Now from this G is, we write 4 by 3 pi rho capital G into capital R. So this is the first equation. And the body is on the surface of the Earth. Suppose this body is taken to certain depth d from the surface. Okay. Then the effect of the Earth on the body of radius is r minus d only. How much radius? R minus d. Then at certain depth gd is equal, this is the g value when the body is at a height of capital R from the center of the Earth, capital R. Suppose the body is at a height of r minus d height, then we write 4 by 3 pi rho capital G into r minus d. This is the second equation. Now do 2 by 1. Then we get gd by g is equal r minus d by r. This is equal 1 minus d by r. So gd is equal to g of 1 minus d by r. That means the value of g also decreases when the body is taken to certain depth. Here change in g value is equal to d by r into g. Now fractional change of G value is d by r. Next, third case. Due to the latitude, G value also changes. Latitude means this is, suppose this is earth and this is equator line, this is pole line. Suppose the body is on the surface here, then it makes at an angle with the equator line, that is nothing but latitude. Due to this latitude changes, the value of G also changes. We get a relation here, G phi is equal to G minus R omega square cos square phi. This is the relation we get after derivation. Okay. At poles, phi becomes 90. Then we get G phi is equal to G cos 90 0. This is maximum value. So G is maximum at the poles. At the equators line, phi is equal to 0 degree. Then we get G phi is equal to cos 0 1. So G minus R omega square. Here G value is minimum. Okay. Here omega is the angular speed of the earth. Suppose the rotation speed of the earth becomes stops. The speed of the earth becomes stop. Then at the poles, G phi is equal to G. It doesn't change. But at equators, poles is same. But equator, here speed of the earth becomes 0 because it stops. So omega becomes 0. That's why we get G at equator is equal to G. So the value of G increases by R omega square amount here. See another case. If G at equator becomes 0, that means G at equator you get the relation G minus R omega square is equal to 0. From this we write omega is equal to root of G by R. You know G value 9.8 meter per second square and R is the radius of the earth. So we get 84.6 minutes here. Generally from this relation we get capital T is equal to 84.6 minutes. We know generally time period of the rotation of the earth is 24 hours. But if at equator G becomes 0, then in such case we get a time period is 84.6 minutes only. Okay. Okay students, take a screenshot first. Next we see gravitational field. What is it? Suppose we take a body of mass small m. Okay, next the space around this one, its influence is felt in the form of attraction. That is known as, that space is known as gravitational field. Okay, what is meant by gravitational field? The space around a mass of an object in which its influence is felt is known as gravitational field. What is gravitational potential? Gravitational potential means it is nothing but the amount of work done of unit mass, that means plus 1 kg. The amount of work done on unit mass of the body in bringing it from infinity to a point in the gravitational field of massive object is known as gravitational potential. This is generally equal to G cap M by small r. Small r means the distance of the unit mass from center of the mass of the given object. Next, gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy means it is the amount of work done in bringing a mass of the body, small m, from infinitive to a point in the gravitational field of a massive object, capital M. Okay, this work is nothing but gravitational potential energy. This is U is equal to capital G, capital M, small m by small r. Here r is the distance of the capital M and small m when they are separated a distance of small r. Okay. Next, suppose the body of mass small m is placed on the surface of the earth whose mass is capital M and radius is capital R. Then potential energy on the surface of the earth U1 is equal to minus G capital M small m by distance between these two, capital R, when it is on the surface. Now this object small m is taken to certain height of h from the surface. Then the potential energy becomes decreases. Its value is minus G capital M small m by r plus h. Now changing the potential energy, delta U is equal to U1 minus U2. Finally we get minus G capital M small m h by r plus r into r plus h. This is the change in the potential energy when the body is taken from the surface of the earth to a certain height h. Okay. Now if h is very much less than capital R, then change in potential energy is equal to, we get h is very much less than capital, then h is negligible to r. Here we get, instead of this one, g r square minus g r square. So finally we get m g r h. Okay, sorry, u1 minus u2. Okay, u1 is minus g capital M small m by r minus or minus plus g capital M small m by r plus h. Now here we get delta u is equal minus g capital M small m is taken as common, and 1 by r minus 1 by r plus h. There minus g capital M small m by r into r plus h is equal to r plus h minus r. So finally we get minus g capital M small m h by r into r plus h. Instead of capital G m, we write minus g r square m h by r into r plus h. R get cancelled. Finally minus m g r h by r plus h. Okay, this is change in potential energy. If small h very much less than capital R, we get delta U is equal to small h is negligible. Then we get minus mgh. And if r is very much less than h, then we get r is negligible and we get minus mgr. Here minus means decreasing value. Okay. Now we see frame of references. Frame of reference. What is it? Okay. The motion of an object can be described by system of coordinates which are attached to an observer is known as frame of reference. Generally, these are two types. One is inertial frames. Inertial frames. Second one is non-inertial frames. frames? The frames which moves with constant speeds. Constant speed means zero acceleration. They are known as inertial frames, okay, in which Newton laws are obeyed. What about non-inertial? The frames which moves with some accelerations. Those are known as non-inertial frames in which Newton laws are not valid. Okay. Next we discuss about some important concepts. Escape velocity and orbital velocities. Escape velocity. This is represented by V suffix v. What is it? The minimum velocity for an object to escape it from gravitational influence and enter into the space is known as escape velocity. Here we equate the kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy formula is half mv square is equal to potential energy formula is capital G capital M small m by r. Okay. From this we get V is equal to root of 2 capital G capital M by capital R. From write the relation small g and capital G, put gm value is small g as well. Now substitute here, finally we get V is equal to root of 2 small g capital R. This is the expression for escape velocity on the surface of the planet. Okay, on the earth, G value is 9.8 meter per second square and the capital in the radius 6,400 kilometers. Substitute here and we get 11.2 kilometer per second. Here escape velocity doesn't depend on the mass of the object. Next, orbital velocity. This is represented by letter of BO. What is it? Suppose this is a planet or Earth, a mass capital M and radius capital R. Suppose a satellite which revolves at a definite height from the surface of the Earth, is height is h, whose mass is small, which revolves around the Earth, okay, with a particular speed. That speed is or that velocity is known as orbital velocity. So what is orbital velocity? The particular velocity with which the satellite revolves around the Earth in a particular orbit is known as orbital velocity. Here, suppose the satellite revolves in a circular path which possesses some centripetal force, that is m v naught square by capital R plus h. Here radius of the orbit is capital R plus h, which is equating the gravitational force between Earth and satellite. That is equal to capital G capital small m by R plus h whole square. From this we get finally V naught is equal under root of G capital M by R plus h. Okay, V naught is equal to root of G capital M by R plus h. Put these values here and we get V naught is equal to 7.92 kilometer per second. For small heights, that means h very much less than capital R, we get relation V naught is equal to root of capital G capital M by capital R. Then we get this value V naught is equal to 7.92 kilometer per second. Okay. So orbital velocity VO is equal to root of capital G capital M by R. This can be also written as root of small g capital R square by R. Finally, V naught is equal to root of GR. Okay. Now write the relation between escape and orbital velocities. You know escape velocity V is equal to root of 2 small g capital R. This can be written as root 2 into root GR. So V is equal root 2 into root GR is replaced by V. So escape velocity is equal to root 2 times of orbital velocity. Now we discuss about energy of satellite. Energy of satellite. Energy means total energy of satellite. Total energy is nothing but sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. Suppose the satellite of mass small m revolves around the earth at a certain height of h from the surface of the earth. Then it possesses certain potential energy. You know it. P is equal to minus g capital M small m by r plus h. It is in motion. That's why it possesses certain kinetic energy also. Kinetic energy is equal to half mass of the satellite small m into orbital velocity square. So half m v naught square. Half m into v naught square. V naught value is this one. Put of capital G capital M by R square. V naught square means G capital M by R plus H here, because it is certain height. Finally, this is G capital M small m by 2 into R plus H. Okay, now K is equal to G capital M by R plus H place is minus potential energy by this is the kinetic energy value. Now total energy of satellite is nothing but potential energy plus kinetic energy. This is equal to PE, KE value minus PE by, so this is total energy is equal to PE by R. Total energy is equal to minus KE. We will get total energy of satellite is minus of kinetic energy. Next, see Kepler laws. How many laws are there? Yes, 3 laws. What is first law? This is also known as law of orbits. So you know, every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical path, in which the sun is at one of its foci. Suppose this is sun and this is a planet of Earth. This planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical path. This is the first law of Kepler. And the sun is at one of its foci means this is major axis and this is minor axis. We have two foci centers. At one of these foci centers, sun is there. This is the first law, also known as laws of orbits. Next, what about second law? This is nothing but law of areas. Law of areas. This is the line joining. This is sun and this is the earth. The line joining the sun and planet sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. Okay, suppose earth is here. We give 1 month time. Then this is the area covered. Okay. Suppose earth is there. In 1 month it is here. So the area covered by this 1 month is equal to the area covered here 1 month. So both are same. That's why the statement of second law is the line joining the planet and the sun covers equal areas in equal intervals of time. Next, third law. This is law of periods. Law of periods. This is the statement is the square of the time period of the planet is directly proportional to cube of the semi-major axis. T square proportional to a cube. Okay, finally we discuss about geostationary satellites. Geostationary satellite. What is it? The satellite which revolves around the earth at a certain height, okay, whose time period becomes 24 hours and which is appeared to be stationary to the observer on the earth. The satellite is known as geostationary satellites. Okay. Here time period of the satellite is 24 hours. It is at a height of 36,000 kilometers from the surface of the earth. From earth center, its value is 42,400 kilometers, which is used to know the shape and size of the earth, to forecast changes the atmosphere conditions. Okay, like that. Okay, thank you. Our students, please follow the synopsis and read well to prepare the solutions in gravitation. Thank you.